Hey everybody, I wanted to come on here real quick just to say hello. It's been a hot minute. Today marks 2 months of our little one coming into our life, which blows my mind because I can't believe that 2 months has passed so quickly, and yet every single day seems so very long. With this comes the sadness of Chris going back to work. He's done with his paternity leave, so it's been amazing having him here. But amidst the uncertainty of what's happening with COVID-19, my family obviously is not coming to help. And so everything is shifting very quickly between what I was going to do over the months of April and May and what I'm going to do now. One of my beautiful clients asked me today, how do I create more certainty in my life? And the question is it's not the first time I've heard this question. I hear it a lot. How do I bulletproof my business? How do I bulletproof my health? How do I bulletproof my relationship? Meaning, how do I create the circumstances in my life so that the outside world doesn't happen to me? And the truth is that's just never going to happen. You cannot create certainty in your life because the world around us is uncertain. We can't control what other people think. We can't control what other people do. We can't control the economy. We can't control things like a global pandemic that comes out of nowhere. But there are things that we can do to create certainty for ourselves within creating certainty with who we are and the things that we're capable of doing, and then obviously making some very smart moves in the world to try and shift what's happening. So first and foremost, let go of creating certainty for yourself, because life is beautiful in that it changes constantly. That could be a good and a bad thing. In neurolinguistic programming and NLP, many of you know that I'm a trainer of neurolinguistic programming. We have what's called the law of requisite variety, which means that the person or system with the most flexibility of behavior rules the system. So what does that mean? It means the person who's the most flexible, who's able to roll with things, who's able to shift, who's able to pivot when things are not going the way that they maybe want them to, will end up having the greatest chance of creating success in their life. So how do we create certainty within ourselves? A lot of it starts with letting go of perfectionism, deciding that you don't always have to be smiling and happy and on top of things. Your business doesn't always have to be profitable. Your health doesn't always have to be 100%. I think when we give ourselves this kind of pressure that everything always has to be perfect, when that shifts just a little bit, we start to create this self-doubt. And within that self-doubt, we start to create limiting beliefs that don't actually have anything to do with who we really are, such as, the limiting belief I hear most often is, I'm a failure, or good things don't happen to me, or I see people around me are fine, but I'm not okay. So that's one area we want to avoid. And then also when you have this self-doubt and these limiting behaviors that start to creep in, we end up taking action because we stop ourselves. Our lack of confidence stops us from making phone calls to see what else is out there, updating our resume to apply for new jobs, whatever it may be, starting that new health regime, because in the past we've seen things fail and we've decided, oh, health just isn't in the cards for me. So besides having flexibility of behavior, there are things that you can do to create a little bit more balance and stability and, quote unquote, certainty in your life. And that is trying to get in front of things and not be so reactionary to them. So when we see things coming, oftentimes we are in a state of disbelief and it's not going to happen to me. So maybe we wait a little bit too long in order to start to create that change, because as human beings, the majority of us, we are resistant to change. There's something really comforting in the way that things are going, even if the way that things are going are not great. Why do you think people stay in relationships longer than they want to? Even if it's a really bad relationship, we have that saying, better the devil you know. So getting in front of the curve, when you see things are not going the way that you want them to for a while now, don't pivot constantly. But if you've been trying and you've been doing your best and you've done everything that you think that you can possibly do, it's time to make a shift. If you see, so for instance, a lot of people seeing what's been going on with COVID-19, people kept saying it's not going to happen to me. This isn't that bad. And then there are other people who said, you know what, I'm going to hunker down. I'm going to be smart. Hopefully they're not hoarding all the toilet paper and food in the world. I don't know who has all this toilet paper. But they said, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to start working from home. I'm going to start taking care of my health. So that's one way that you can create a little bit more stability in your life is don't wait until the last second to make a change and to pivot. Be willing to say, okay, I can see down this road. I see it's not going to go well. And I'm willing to put myself out there and create a little uncertainty in my life and make a change and pivot. You don't have to do that alone. Find a community, lean on your friends during this time. We're really all in this together. Another way to create a little bit more certainty in your life. Moving forward, I realize all of us are right now just kind of taking care of our basic needs, but create a cushion for yourself. Financially, this means create some savings in your life so that you have at least a couple of months of mortgage or a couple of months of rent available to you should something happen, should you not be able to work. This also means when it comes to health, don't wait until your health is really bad to try and get it on track. Take care of yourself every single day. Drink plenty of fluids. Get lots of rest. If you know that something is happening with you health-wise, be willing to hire a nutritionist or a health coach or a fitness coach. Somebody go see your doctor. Don't wait until it gets so bad that you have to all of a sudden make a quick shift in order to get yourself back on track. When it comes to your relationships, work on communication ahead of time. Don't wait until there's a big blowout to try and fix it. Do you see kind of this pattern here? Is get in front of it. Create a little bit of space, a little bit of area so that you can feel more comfortable, so that it's not constantly this high and low in your life. I know that right now there's a lot of stress happening for a lot of people, and it doesn't matter how well off you are or how much you are in dire need. But during this time, just take it one day at a time. Focus on what you can control. Try and shift the narrative a little bit within your life. If you feel like every day you wake up and you say, oh my gosh, I'm locked in my house. I have to be locked in my house. I can't leave. I have to do this. I have to do that. Try and shift the narrative. I mentioned this before in a previous video. Think about all the things that you've been wanting to do should you had more time, and say, okay, great. Wake up in the morning and say, I've got X amount of time on my hands. I get to do this activity I've been putting off for a really long time. Another thing I've seen that is just amazing is people are connecting virtually a lot more than they did previously. I'm having video calls and video catch-ups with people that, even though I haven't seen them in a long time in person, I haven't been doing this video conferencing and video chatting. And this is an amazing way to start reconnecting with one another throughout the world. So this is something we can do in other times when we're not quote unquote locked in the house. Shift the narrative and just decide to take as much control over what you can control. You can create better morning routines for yourself. You can create new recipes with the random things you have left in your house to eat. You can decide that it's time to start that novel. It's time to update that resume. Really do what you can to try and clean your house. That's one big one for us with a 2-month-old. We've been piles of laundry everywhere. We're going to clean our house. So do what you can. Lean on one another. Reach out to those who you think are going to need a little bit of extra help. Reach out to those extroverts, especially if they're living at home by themselves. Just reconnect with yourself through meditation, and just remember that this is not going to last forever, but do what you can just to maintain a healthy lifestyle, connect with the people who love you. If you have any questions or if you need a little extra support, you want to get some voice notes from me on a specific situation, just go ahead and reach out to me, post in the comments, or send me a DM, do what you need. But I'm just sending you so much love and light right now and wishing you health and happiness. Be safe.